Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Sanctum, and today we're going to be doing some BT2 Vanguard Overdress deck profiles. We're going to be covering, in this episode, we're going to be covering the updated Magnes list that I've been running. This is the 10, the 10 soul, the 10 soul variant. So let's just hop right into it. Pardon me for that. Second. Space. Yeah, it reaches. Ooh, cool. Alright, so first and foremost, very cookie cutter cards are the following. You are still running the same ride line. You're running Burning, Uncanny Burning, Deep Sonicer, Electro Spartan, Magnes. This doesn't change. We haven't been given a new ride line yet, and I theorize we might be given like new ride lines eventually, but we don't have any cards that have any actual effects. Next up, well, like for the ride line specifically, right? We're running the one Gale Michel, running the 6 crit line, seven crits, 1 over trigger, 4 fronts, 4 heals. Running the new Natalia, the 20k shield. The 4 heals is basic and 7 crits as well. You punch face, so yeah, you're not swinging on rear guards in this deck. In the grade 1s, obviously, we're running quadruple Recusal Hate Dragon. This card is really good because it is your PG, and when you are low on hand size, it does not cost you an extra card to discard to PG. We are still running the 3 Steam Battler gun engrams. This card is quite amazing, and in the go to 10 build, it actually allows you to get some extra card draw. On place rear guard, you soul charge 1, and sometimes in certain situations when you're going to do the Magnes play, and you're going to call 2 cards, you're going to actually call this out and like either Bunny Girl or Expeller, and we'll go into why afterwards. But so far this is very solid double R. Really helps you get to 10. Now this is a special tech I don't see many people running. I'm running 2 Freeze Breeze. The reason why I want to run Freeze Breeze is the boost on a boosted hit. Right? If it boosts and it hits, if my Vanguard is Magnes, I soul charge 1. So it is grade 3 restricted, so it is a lot more fair. But then if I have 10 cards in soul, I can counterblast 1 and draw 2 cards. Which are actually really good in like the early parts of the game, right? Like the first turn you hit 10, you swing, if they take it, then of course, we are running a second copy of Deep Sonicer. It is an amazing 18k attacker. You don't really see the need to run more than 2, just because unless you're playing against control, these are gonna stick on the field. And unfortunately, we do not currently have a way to put cards from the drop into the soul. Next up, one of my new favorite cards in the set is Crimson Expeller. It's a rear guard skill that on swing of Vanguard, like when you swing Vanguard, you soul charge 1. And it has a soul effect. It came in clutch a few games at locals. So you counterblast 1, put him in the drop, soul charge 1, choose your Vanguard, and gets 10k until end of turn. Not a hard once per turn, it's a soft once per turn. So if you have multiple copies and you still have quite a bit of deck size and you know your opponent doesn't have a PG, you can push for lethal because Barrow will always swing extra crit, and because we're running 7 crits from the over trigger, it's odd, there's a high chance that we will see more crits. Next up, we are only running 1 copy of Selfish Engraver. I am trying a more like defensive build. I know a lot of standard Magnes plays like decks are running this at 4, but I feel like Crimson Expeller is just better because it doesn't require the on hit. Sure, it requires you to attack the Vanguard, but you're punching face in this deck anyway, so why wouldn't you, right? Then we're trying something a little new. We are running Napier. Napier says that if I have Guardian Circle skill, continuous, if I have 5 or more cards in soul, she gains 5k shield, so she's 10k shield from hand. This variant doesn't go turbo 15, have no cards in hand. You know, I play to have cards in hand, and I play to, I guess, not have mandatory soul charges, because one of the biggest problems with the deck is that when you're going the turbo 15 build, everything when you place it will soul charge, and eventually you just can't do that. And if you do that, you just, because the second you hit 0 deck, you lose. So it's the reason why we're running some Cleave Muddler as a substitute for the Selfish Engraver, because he's got a conditional skill that I can discard a card to give him 5k if Vanguard is Magnes on rear. He gets 5k if I discard, and if I have 10 or more, Soul, I countercharge 1. So it can be very situational and very helpful. And besides, you get 10k off boost off doing the 15 effect of Barrow Magnes, so he will always hit. And this doesn't have to hit a Vanguard to proc. So then we got the 3 other copies of Barrow Magnes. Standard, you run 4 of your ride line grade 3. It is the nuttiest card. And now in the text, well, before we get to the text, we're running 2 Curtis. The reason why I'm only running 2 Curtis is I've often seen him, and with the text that I'm running, I can recuperate Curtis if I need to. So next up, the first tech we're running is Time Jared Dragon. So when this unit is placed on rear, not from hand, but so can be placed from soul, I put a card from my hand into my soul and I draw a card. So it helps me filter and helps me put cards like Crimson Expeller that might have a soul effect. You know, just helps me prep for the next few turns. Next up, we got our one of when this card attacks a Vanguard, if your soul has 10 or more cards, you can counterblast 1, soul blast 1, and when my opponent would call a card until the end of the battle from hand, they gotta call 2 or more. So this is a card that kind of forces the intercept, but they won't have intercepts when you use the Barrow Magnes. So basically, if they're just like last ditch effort, depending on that PG, well, they're kind of gonna get cucked for it. Next up are option cards. We're running 3 Supernatural Extractions. I really love this card. So it says, play this card with counterblast 1, discard a card from hand, so that is cost. I soul charge 3. Then if you have 10 or more cards in soul, you can choose a card in soul. So very important that it checks on resolution of the final soul charge how many cards you have in soul. So you can activate this card without 10 cards in soul. Soul charge 3, get to 10. So like say if you have 7, you activate it, and bam, easy. And last but not least, I finally got my hands on the trial deck for the Bruce, right? So we now have access to this beautiful single called Brother Soul, and it is a 1-drop extra. Option card, extra, it's DBS mentality, right? And it's just soul charge 2. It's really great in the early game, helps you pump to 10 real fast, and if ever you can pump to 15, you just do it early. And we're running a lot more of early enablers, so like the 10 and 15 playstyle are both offered in this deck, but because we're not running like the quadruple Curtis, we're still gonna have cards in hand when we do meet our thresholds, and it's really nice. Besides, you can only use 1 option per turn, so we're running 6 just so that way we see it, because often running less than that, you will basically just be soul charging them, and it's a little too random on percentage for draws. So I hope you guys enjoyed my deck profile on Barrow Magnes. What's his name? Actually, Master of Gravity Barrow Magnes. I really like this this deck. It's fun. Yeah, I built a lot of different decks, and the reason why I build a lot of different decks is just because like the Overdress is kind of like a new format, so not everyone has a deck yet. So if you come to locals, we'll lend you a deck, you'll play with it, have fun, and yeah, that's that. So thank you guys for coming to watch the deck profile. As always, my name is The Fallen Sanctum, and thank you for coming to watch this video. Like, share, subscribe for more, and we'll be back with more videos soon. Thanks, ciao.